Mackenzie, thanks for coming back and being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Super excited to have you here. I know you're going to speak on some panels today. So while you're here, just thought we would do a little alumni spotlight in the flesh. So if you could maybe give everybody else a little bit of a background on you, what you've been doing since you left Miami.
Yep. So Mackenzie Blake, I graduated from Miami in 2019 from the supply chain program. Since then, I worked at Honda for about 6 years. So was a buyer, doing a lot of sourcing, and then was a project leader and a team leader. And then I recently just switched to Hobart Parts, which is an ITW company. So Hobart Parts is the service side for the food equipment group within ITW. So we service all of the dishwashers that are on cruise ships, industrial ovens, refrigerators, mixers. So like all the things that you don't think about behind the scenes, but you realize like, oh, that's how the Chipotle runs.
That's in a lot of things.
Yeah, that's like how the Costco makes the rotisserie chickens and all of that stuff. So very different world in comparison to Honda, because I went from buying millions of things to I need one. And I needed it yesterday for the service needs of a customer, and they're upset that their machine's down and they need it immediately. So very different shift, but I'm really enjoying it so far.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so you're kind of in the spot of your career where some people like start to make a move. So you just made that move recently, get experience in a different industry and area. You used to be on our young alumni board, but now you've got too much experience, so I had to kick you off. So moving up to the next tier. So awesome. What for students that maybe are just starting in their classes here in supply chain operations, as you look back now that you've been out a few years, what are things that you wish you did more of while you were here, or like more experience that you would have gotten?
I didn't join like any of the supply chain organizations, and I think I wish I had, because I think I wish I had gotten more exposure to the other concepts, because really my exposure was just in the classroom and then through my internship. And I fell in love with sourcing very quickly, but I really didn't give the other ones a chance. Even like I didn't give logistics a chance. I didn't give, I know, right? And I was in your class for logistics too. So I felt like I found my niche quick, but if I hadn't have found it as quick as I did, I should have probably given those a more of a chance to be like exploring other options and exploring other opportunities.
Yeah, and I think also like as you move up as you are now, then you not only need that depth of experience, but you need the breadth, right? And like knowledge of how all the different pieces of the supply chain work together. And it's never too early to start building your network and meeting people, like you said, in student orgs.
So mine's focused on, I'm on the sourcing team at Hobart, but we deal directly with the buyers that are placing the POs. And I never really had any exposure before this to the actual PO placing process. I'm worried about lead times and making sure that we're getting enough in and building those inventory like levels, and being aware of, we only want so many on hand, but we have a 60-day lead time. We need to be conscious of that and getting the next order placed, and all of those kind of intricacies of the supply chain that I didn't really have an exposure to before this.
Yeah. And so now that you're out, like as you've gone through your first several years out, was there any like continuous learning or things that you did to, maybe you got into a role and you're like, crap, I have no idea how to do this. Like, how do they make that jump to, okay, we're not in the classroom anymore. We got to kind of learn on the fly. Maybe you weren't, we're not experts in everything, of course, yet. How do you figure that out, and learn as you go?
So I think the biggest like rude awakening position for me was switching from an individual contributor as a buyer at Honda to a project leader, where all of my work was dependent on my team. Even though I wasn't having any direct reports under me, I still had a lot of material that I had to get from my team in order to build what I needed to deliver to management. And that was a huge shift in mindset of, learning how best to collaborate with multiple personalities and how to make sure that, hey, the method with this person doesn't work with that person. How do you, get that communication and get that rapport with all of your coworkers? The biggest thing that I utilized was mentorship within the organization. So I found a couple people that were more experienced in that role or had done that role previously, but weren't part of my direct management team, that really helped like me grow and learn and develop the skills that I didn't think I had, but they were helping me see that I could develop them. And it was really beneficial because, change is difficult for anyone, but when it's, your day-to-day job and you've been doing it for so many years, it can be quite shocking.
Yeah, yeah. All those team projects and leading people working in different ways start to
become real.
Start to make sense.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to students that are maybe at the end of their time with us and like looking at making that transition to from a full-time student to full-time working, and that can be a rough transition for some. Like, what have you learned through that process that you would share with others?
I think having still some type of a routine is really good. Like knowing a grocery day, having, maybe I'm going to go to the gym on these days, and having things to look forward to outside of work, whether that be traveling to go see friends that have moved to other cities, or finding things to do in the city that you move to with, your coworkers and the new friends that you make along the way, or the friends that moved with you to that new city. I think you got to be able to get out of your comfort zone once you're in that new city, and that's hard, but it gets easier the more you do it. Like one of the things I did was I joined a sand volleyball team.
Nice.
And it was just a bunch of Honda coworkers when I was probably 2 years in, and we had a ton of fun. And we did it for 2 or 3 years, and it was very enjoyable, and it forced you out of your comfort zone. You met a lot of people that way. It was just something different to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good advice, figuring out like that balance and really just learning like to meet people in a new city when you're not a student is a lot harder sometimes. Figuring out like who that new network is.
Absolutely. And you're going to run into a lot of people that have had very different experiences than you. Like you're at college and everyone's about going through the same thing, especially in a small college town. So you're going to have everyone in about the same age range doing about the same thing. And then you get to the real world and you've got a lot more diversity in the experiences and the people that you're exposed to. And, you may become really good friends with someone that's your mom's age and you go to book club with them or something like that. Or you may be friends with someone that didn't even go to college at all and you play volleyball with them or something. And I think that's so much like uniqueness to just the work environment that you get exposed to.
Yeah, that's a great point. And just be open to that and forming different types of relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's all I have for today. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Happy to have you back.